Parents' grief. From the moment you see that positive result, you become mummy and daddy to your little beans, wondering who they will be like, and of course, if they will have your genes. You begin to hope and plan and dream, your heart simply bursting with joy. Then your thoughts starting to turn to wonder, are you expecting a precious girl or a precious boy? However, your plans for the future are gone in the blink of an eye, as you hear the words no parent should hear, that we have to say goodbye. The world suddenly becomes not only scary, but extremely lonely, sad and bleak, and you question what you did wrong, and answers you begin to seek. And just when you feel all is lost, an amazing charity named Simba steps in to lend a hand, offering the love and support, letting you know that they understand. Gifted with a beautiful memory box to let you know that you're not alone. United with so many other families, as with Simba, you're never on your own. So as we gather here on this special night to send a wave of light to our babies up above, know that each and every candle is filled with an abundance of hugs and love. So, our beautiful babies, these candles we light for you to let you know how missed you are, not just today, but all year through. On behalf of my own family and all the others supported by Simba, I would just like to say how eternally grateful we are to each and every member of the Simba team for doing such a wonderful job. Thank you.
From above the lights are shining oh so bright, it's 7 p.m. on a Saturday night. Look, the lights travelling round the world, brightly oh so bright. It's for us, you know, look down there, our families and friends have gathered to show they care. It's wonderful to see and delightful to follow, songs, poems and words so pleasant and so mellow. We are together forever in our hearts and dreams. Tonight we'll light our candles as we know just how much it means. Feel at peace with burning light, for the candle light brings us together tonight. I'd like to thank Little Voices Big Stars for joining us tonight and performing their first song, and they'll be singing 2 more songs throughout our service. And a special thank you to Lindsay Graham for reading the poem that she wrote, A Parent's Grief, and she read it so beautifully. Eleanor Evans will be playing the clarsach during our time for reflection and at the end of the service. My name is Sarah Fitzsimmons. I'm the CEO of Simba and one of the co-founders, and on behalf of my team, I'd like to welcome you here tonight. Whether you have joined us here in St Catherine's, Argyle, or join us through our Facebook, Live, or through our website, you're all very welcome. Technology is a wonderful thing, especially when we can bring us all together to honour all our babies. I wanted to share with you the journey of Baby Loss Awareness Week and how we all came together on this day in honour of all our babies gone too soon. In 1988, the United States Congress, by Senate Joint Resolution, designated the month of October as Baby Loss Awareness Week, Baby Loss Awareness Month. And President Ronald Reagan then formalised the month. In 2001, Robin Bear, Lisa Brown and Tammy Novak initiated a campaign and petitioned the federal government and the state of governors of the United States to make October the 15th a national holiday titled Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. It's thanks to Robin, Lisa and Tammy and what they initiated we are all here today. The first Baby Loss Awareness Day in the United Kingdom was held 20 years ago in 2002. And then in 2003, the event was expanded into a week. Simba held our first baby loss awareness service in 2006 in the sanctuary of the Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh. And at that event, we had about 10 people join us. Tonight, we have bereaved families and those close to them as here in the sanctuary of St Catherine's, Argyle, and live through Facebook and our website. Soon, at 7 p.m, together we'll be lighting our candles. Through the action of lighting candles and letting them burn for 1 hour, we join the international wave of light. Already candles have been lit in New Zealand, Australia, Asia, and many countries, sending that burning love of light all the way across Europe and the United Kingdom and Ireland. And after that, the light will carry on across the Atlantic Ocean to America and Canada. Imagine if we could look down from above, what a sight all these candles glowing would be. The Baby Loss Alliance theme this year is Stepping Stones, creating a space for everyone that's been touched by baby loss. Parents, families, healthcare professionals, and the wider community. When I think of stepping stones, I think that some steps are small, some are large, some are big leaps forward. However, sometimes the stones are wobbly, and sometimes you can't get to the other side because the water's too fast, too deep, or too scary. So to be safe, you have to go back and perhaps try another day, when the river is calm, or try another safe part of the river to cross. Grief is like those stepping stones. You have to take grief at your pace, not at the pace of people around you. Some days you'll take the small steps, some days you just can't even walk through the door, and you know it's okay to turn around and go back in again and try again tomorrow. However, some days are fine, and you'll feel it's okay to smile, laugh, and be happy. Think of all those days as your stepping stones. Some days you'll get to the other side of the river and feel a sense of relief, pride, and accomplishment. In a moment, we're going to invite you to light your candles in memory of your baby or babies, and the babies who lit up and continue to light up your lives in our actions and memories. During the lighting of the candles, Little Voices Big Star will be performing Dancing in the Sky, and then Eleanor will follow by playing the clarsach until the last candle has been lit, and we'll be using this as a time for reflection. Time for reflection is so important, and we need to give ourselves time each day for ourselves, not to always just think about our babies, but just to think of ourselves. It's so important that we give us that time. So if we just take a minute before we light our candles, then Brian will be coming up with me and we'll be lighting the first candles. And then we'll be inviting everybody else and those at home to light their candles too. And we're going to light this world up brightly. introduce Brian Griffin, Simba trustee. Brian's going to say a few words about the importance of remembrance.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Sarah. My name is Brian, and I'm here to talk about the importance of remembrance and to share my own experience. There's a line in a song that I like, which says, "They died twice, when their breath leaves their body and when their name gets said for the last time." My wife and I lost our son Milo in 2019. One of the promises that we made to each other in the midst of all that grief was that we wouldn't allow his legacy to become one of sadness. We wanted to hear his name, to speak his name, and to encourage others to do the same. When I order a coffee, I always give Milo's name. That's something that I've learned from another bereaved father. The artisan barista has no idea that my name's not Milo. The other patrons, all enjoying their skinny chai lattes, have no idea that my name's not Milo. But they also have no idea of the pride I feel when I hear a stranger saying his name out loud. But it makes a real difference to my day. One of the bigger projects we undertook in the early days of grieving was to turn an overgrown area of our garden into a remembrance space. That summer, we broke our backs, pulling out trees, dismantling a dilapidated greenhouse, laying new lawn, and decorating the area with the most beautiful flowers we could find. In all honesty, the physical exertion that we put ourselves through at that time was probably the only thing getting us to sleep at night. But having a project of that size at that time made us feel like we were doing something for him, putting all of our love into something instead of into someone. All of our neighbours know about Milo's meadow, and they've all hand-painted little decorations that we put in our tree. Some of our neighbours even banded together to look after its upkeep one summer, while we spent some extended time away with family. We regularly sit in Milo's meadow and have our morning coffee, and that's twice I've mentioned coffee now. Probably need to cut back. We sit there and we play with Milo's little brothers, who were making noise in the corner earlier, and we might have a quiet moment of reflection when those little pangs of grief rear their ugly head. It's indescribable, that feeling we get each time we walk into Milo's meadow in springtime and recognise that it's fully in bloom, and the feeling of closeness to Milo in that moment. It's the annual bloom of life in memory of someone who died. Every single greeting card that we have sent since the day he died is signed off with each of our names and a star with the letter M inside. And so, in return, every card we receive from family and friends, each time our little star is included. The first gift we ever bought for Milo when we just found out we were pregnant was a book. And we found it particularly hard to see books sitting unread on the shelf in his nursery. So, we set aside a little budget each Christmas. We take a trip to a bookshop. We pick out a selection of books we wish we had a chance to read to him. We call it Milo's Milestones, because we aim to choose age-appropriate books. We include his little brothers in helping us to select the right ones, and clearly we're fans of alliteration because we put M in everything we do. We pay for the books. We leave them in a pile with the staff. They give them to children over the course of the day. Inside each one is a little note, thanking the person who received it for choosing it, and explaining it's a gift from someone who won't get to be here with us at Christmas. We include the hashtag Milo's Milestones, and each year we've been gifted in return with messages from grateful parents, telling us how they shared the story with their child and thought of Milo as they did so. The staff in the shop now also know us. The story is spread around the store, and we get a warm welcome every time we come in, and it's become a family tradition for us each and every year. The most important thing to remember about remembrance is that it's personal. There's no right or wrong way to remember your baby. There's no gesture too big or too small, too public or too private. Whether you choose to keep your acts of remembrance to yourself or to share them with others, complete them regularly or rarely, that's for you to decide. I can only speak from my own experience, but one of the hardest things about being a bereaved parent are the holes left in your life by your child's absence. It's all the ways you don't get to talk about them, the experiences you don't get to have, and all the times you don't get to hear their name. For us, every way we can find to have him remembered by his family, by our friends, and by people who never even met him is a gift, and I hope we find many more ways all throughout the rest of our lives. We're here tonight to join other families all over the world in completing this particular act of remembrance, and I'd like to thank Simba for arranging this beautiful service, one of just many ways in which we can remember our babies. And now I'd like to introduce Zoe Linton, who will read I'll Meet You in the Light, which is written by Maureen Bauer in loving memory of Darcy.
Thank you, Brian. I'll meet you in the light. I know that you cannot see me, but trust me, I'm right here. Although I'm not with you, my love for you stays near. So often I see you crying, many times you call my name. I want so much to touch your face and ease some of your pain. I'm with you in your dreams at night, so you know that I am real. But if you could see me run and play, how much better you would feel. One day I'll be with you, and when the time is right, you'll step out of the darkness and meet me in the light.
I'd like to thank Zoe and Brian, Zoe for saying the poem and Brian for sharing his story. Brian is so right. There is no right and wrong or grieving. It's finding your way. I'm now going to introduce Gillian Smith, our Simba patron, and she's going to say a few words about remembrance from a healthcare professional's point of view.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm delighted to be with you all again. It's always a very precious time for us to come together to remember the lost babies, and I know you don't need a special day. You will remember them every day. But we want to hear their names and remember them here with you. It's also a day within this week for all health professionals involved in maternity care to remember the babies and families that they have looked after in the very darkest of times. They too will be lighting candles across the world. And I know that my midwife colleagues and friends from New Zealand, Australia, India, Dubai, Spain, France, Italy, Norway, the US, and many other, as well as in the UK, will be remembering those families. I recently, during the week, was on Twitter, quite a Twitterati, and midwives within Lanarkshire had put up a wordle, and it reflected some of the things that they felt when they were helping parents. Some of them said worried, some of them said apprehensive, some of them said anxious, respectful, frightened, lucky, privileged, emotional, but an overwhelming thing was overwhelmed in just knowing the right way to help you. The maternity community is not immune to being touched by this sadness, and although we don't always think of it, many of those will be lighting a candle for their own lost babies. I've been a midwife for nearly 45 years, and remember the first time I encountered the loss of a baby as a student midwife in 1978. I had no training, and when I was literally expelled from the room, I was left wondering, had I done something wrong, and had this little girl died because of me? That was not the case, as the baby had been dead for a few days. But no one guided me, supported me, debriefed me, or indeed simply asked if I was all right. I came through an era that people didn't talk about it, and friends would often cross the road because they didn't know what to say for the best, and sometimes their comments were unhelpful and even hurtful. There was no memory making, and if you were lucky, you might get a couple of Polaroid pictures in a brown envelope. I have also been fortunate to be part of a growing movement around change, and thank goodness for Simba and the work of Sarah and her team in being instrumental in that change. The brown envelope scenario is what changed things, and saw Sarah establish this amazing charity. Students are taught during the training about how to support families and how to help create these memories and how to take care of themselves. Conference attendance and speaking engagements have undoubtedly made midwives and other professionals feel more confident, and hopefully the midwives of today are so much better prepared for these events than we were in the 1970s. I was watching Emma Willis on Saturday Kitchen Live today. I'm a bit of a foodie. And she was talking about Baby Loss Awareness Week and the programme that she does. And apparently Thursday's programme was concentrating on the extra training that she had done and specifically about this week to address baby loss awareness. And I'm sure you can get it on Catch Up TV. I will be. There are over 260 buildings across the UK which have been lit up in pink and blue in memories of the babies lost, but not least of our own iconic kelpies. We're a family, and midwives and other professionals, health professionals, are in a better place now because of the type of work that Simba does. Thank you for this, Sarah, and for your team. And now I want to, I almost forgot you there. And now I want to introduce Jade Linden, who's one of the workers at Simba, who's going to do the next poem.
Wave of Light, written by Christine Bevington. Once more we all gather to remember our babies tonight. Once more we all join hands and hearts to create a precious wave of light. Although we all can't be together in person, we can still send so much love and light as our candle burns and we remember each darling baby lost to us tonight. To create a wave of light is easy. A candle can light the way for each of us to remember, and our baby's name we can say. A wave of love, hand in hand with the light, passes around this globe this eve. Purest love of brilliant white, this I truly do believe. Love in all its vasty glory circles us all in its warmth and way, to know our beautiful babies are remembered by us today.
Thank you so much, Jade. I'm now going to introduce Jo Talbot, our Deputy CEO, and Jo's going to say a few words about the importance of looking after yourself and those around you.
It's been so lovely to be able to gather together this year for this special Wave of Light event. We hope that being together with your Simba family has brought you much comfort and a beautiful way to remember your baby or a baby that's close to you. As we depart this evening, we know that you might live with your family or friends, or perhaps you live alone. Whatever your situation, please know that our team are always here to support you, not just during this Baby Loss Awareness Week, but all year round. Reach out to us for support. Information on all of our services and services from other bereavement care charities can be found on our website. We're here to help you mark birthdays, anniversaries, and other special dates that are important to you and your baby 365 days a year. Take the time for yourself to take care of yourself. This could be by finding ways to relax, such as a nice walk, a meditation practice, or quiet moment simply for a cup of tea. Perhaps try something you enjoy, like working in the garden, painting, or reading. Look for the small joys life can offer us, such as a beautiful flower or seeing the sun rise over the horizon. Reaching out to friends and family or to a support group can help you feel a sense of belonging and know that you are not alone. Maya Angelou said, "As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself, the other for helping others." Whatever self-care means for you, look after yourself and those around you. Simba are always here for you to offer hope and light, and ways to remember all our precious babies.
Very wise words, Joe. I wasn't going to say this, but Gillian mentioned the Emma Willis thing, and I was watching that the other night, and I was like, oh my goodness, is there Simba box in the background? It wasn't presented, it wasn't shown, but I could see it was there, and it was filled with so much pride, knowing that our memory boxes are across the UK and Ireland, and we're reaching so many brave families at a time where we used to have very little. In my days as a midwife, it was a brown envelope. It was so difficult, somebody walking away with that. We sadly can't change with what's happened when somebody loses a baby, but we can give them that gift of memories. I remember when Brian told me the story about ordering a coffee and giving Milo's name, so that he could feel the pride when the person giving him coffee shouts Milo. I tried it too. I went into a well-known coffee shop and I asked for the name. I says, Maeve. It wasn't for me to hear that beautiful name. It was so I could send a photo of that name on the cup to her mum, as I knew how much it would mean to her. And when I go on holiday, I write Maeve's name in the sand, I write baby's Nye's name in the sand, and I write Simba in the sand. And it's for all the babies. And I feel so much pride when I'm able to do that. And I send pictures, and I just know that will make my friends fill with pride. When your baby dies, you don't get the opportunity of filling out nursery and school forms, seeing the child writing their own name, reports home that fill you with pride. But when your baby dies, we need to find special ways of sharing names. It's something that everyone can do. A name in the pebbles in the sand, a necklace, and even a bookmark. So when a parent opens a book, every time they see their baby's name, it's not to remind them they know their baby's name. It's a moment of pride. Behind us and on our website, we have our butterfly montage. It's a montage of hundreds of names of your baby's names. When on our website, if you roll over the baby's names, the names will expand so you and everyone can see them. Shortly at the end of the service, we'll also see a roll and scroll of all your beautiful baby's names that who shared with us in advance of this service. I'd like to take a moment just to thank a few people. I'd like to thank the team at St Catherine's of Argyle for preparing and sharing your sanctuary with us. Thank you to all our speakers, Lindsay, Brian, Gillian, Zoe, Joe and Jade, for sharing words and reading poems. Thank you to Little Voices, Big Stars for joining us to sing their beautiful songs, and Eleanor for playing the clarsach. And a big, big thank you to our volunteers, the volunteers who helped us organise and pack everything up for tonight, who organised things in the office, collated babies' names, and the volunteers who are here tonight supporting our event. Thank you to our Simba team. I can't thank our Simba team enough for organising and coming together, and every single thing that they do for making every day and tonight possible. Thank you for our team for streaming our event live tonight. A couple of times we've done it on our mobile phones thinking we're professionals, but it really is nice to have it tonight professional, so we can stream it not just to Facebook, but through our website, through YouTube. So we can reach you wherever you are, and to thank everybody who's joined us tonight here in St Catherine's, Argyle. We will not hide our grief, as we will not hide our love. We will close tonight's service with Little Voices Big Stars to perform The Rose while we share your baby's names.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns.